Get your fundamental view in the market then, and joining us live is market expert Nipun Mehta. Afternoon, Nipun. Thanks for joining us right here on ET. Now, what does it smell like? Do you think we're on the verge of a possible breakout rally from here on?
Well, good afternoon. Clearly, if you look at the last few trading sessions, the sentiment seems to have clearly undergone a bit of a change coming out of the events in Europe and the fact that there have been some positive announcements that the finance ministry or the prime minister has made. Really too early to really predict whether this could be a complete turnaround, this could be a breakout. I think a lot of this sentiment change is based on hope and anticipation that there could be positive announcements coming in the domestic, as far as the domestic economy is concerned. We must remember that we are having a bad monsoon right now, and the crude oil prices are gradually inching up. The rupee has appreciated for a day, but the moment you have any further depreciation as far as the rupee is concerned, there are those signs on the side which could change market sentiment considerably. So clearly, I think one needs to be cautious. There could just be a degree of profit booking that is there. I would be happier if the market stabilizes at the current level. Then there would be reasonably strong support levels that would get built around the current levels, subject to as and when the announcements actually come in for the domestic economy.
Nipun, do you think the market is now more hopeful ever since the Prime Minister has taken over the Finance Minister's post that perhaps there is going to be some speed up by way of reforms?
For sure. I think one has seen immediately post the Prime Minister taking over the Finance Ministry, there have been a few positive positive announcements that have been made in terms of indications of what could come by. Almost all of them are still to actually be announced as policy measures, but there seems to be clear movement towards that. I think what the market would clearly be watching, beside the results that could start coming by sometime early next week, would also be how soon these policy measures actually get announced and implemented, because you're always going to have a lag on the turnaround as far as the economy is concerned based on a lot of these policy measures. The sentiment has changed. The sentiment could further improve based on a lot of these announcements. There could be a lag effect, which is absolutely fine, but that gradually starts getting discounted based on these announcements. But yes, very clearly there is hope and anticipation that there could be something positive coming out of a lot of these announcements from the Finance Ministry.
The other key driver of sentiment, of course, Nipun, is the monsoon, and things aren't looking very good on that front, at least. Would you revisit your position on some of the stocks that have a linkage to a good monsoon, the auto pack maybe, the FMCG stocks maybe?
For sure. I think one needs to be closely watching the monsoon. Very clearly, a lot of the sectors that are currently seeing a fair amount of sustained and robust growth over the last few quarters have been related to rural spending, and very clearly, if monsoon is deficient and not necessarily phased, but is very clearly deficient, there could be slowdown as far as the FMCG sales are concerned. As far as two-wheeler sales are concerned, you've already seen four-wheeler sales getting impacted because of high interest rates, high fuel costs, and clearly the urban economy getting impacted a bit. But a lot of the sales on the two-wheelers and the FMCG pack has been coming out of the rural segment, and if there is an impact on the monsoon, very clearly there could be a case for revisiting all of these over the next couple of weeks. I think the next 2 weeks could be crucial as far as revisiting all of these sectors as well as the analysis of the monsoon is concerned.
Nipun, within days from now, we would be focusing on Infosys as it will be declaring its earnings. What is it that we can expect from the IT space this time?
Well, the overall IT space, I think, should show clearer direction. The last quarter, if you look at the March quarter, you had seen Infosys and a couple of the larger companies really getting impacted, not showing very positive guidance. You had a couple of other larger companies which showed a fair amount of positive guidance. the mid-sized pack showing a fair amount of traction in terms of their profitability as well as growth. So I think it would be very interesting to watch this entire space, whether that same trend actually continues or whether it was a one-off, and whether there is an industry trend really that is there as far as some of the larger companies actually slowing down. So my sense is you could see a trend which was very similar to the March quarter, where the TCSs and the HCLs of this world probably could continue to show a fair amount of consistent traction that was there, upside traction that was there. The mid-sized companies might continue to perform well, and there would be those 2 or 3 larger companies which could get impacted as they've got impacted in the March quarter. I think the guidance that some of these larger companies give would be key.
Nipun Mehta, thank you so much for joining in with that perspective on markets at lunch. That's Street View for lunch.